Tracey Breeden. I am a queer activist. I'm a speaker. I'm a public servant. I'm also the author of Match Striking for Beginners, Activating Individual and Collective Power for a More Just World. I grew up in a small rural town in the middle of America in the Midwest, and I grew up in a place where it wasn't okay to be me. I was told what I should be, what I shouldn't be, and who I was not good enough. And I had went into policing, and I really feel like I found my voice in policing. I decided to be that person that would create trainings, that would galvanize others, that would build community around it. And it took off. It became a training that was identified and used across the state. So we started training other departments and other institutions around how to properly and how appropriately to respond to disclosures of sexual assault. This thing really caught fire because I stepped in, because I was going to have a voice, because I decided to do something and take action in a place that people were not taking action in, and people started to notice. And it wasn't long before Uber in 2015, going through what they were going through, experiencing not only sexual harassment on the inside and dealing with things that were happening within the organization, they had a platform that they didn't know what to do, because all of a sudden they had created this technology that they thought could impact the world in a positive way, and it was, but it was also a platform that others were using to harm people. And so they went looking for what some people might call a unicorn, somebody from public safety, but somebody who could also come into a corporate environment and be able to help them address this issue. And then I was asked to come to Uber, and people thought I was crazy to leave policing. I had such a great future in policing. Why would I ever leave policing? And what happened was when I stepped into what was breaking my heart and I did something about it and I took action, all of a sudden, the universe opened up a bigger platform, a bigger opportunity to create impact in that same space. But I stepped in there. They asked me to help them learn how to talk about this. I did more than help them learn how to talk about it. How to address it is what we dug deep into. And then I started helping change an entire organization and how they were going to address violence against women in marginalized communities. I eventually became the head of women's safety and gender-based violence programs at Uber, and traveled the entire globe to all 6 continents that Uber operated in, engaging with hundreds of women's groups, also groups focused on the queer community and the BIPOC community, to help create safety programs, technology, initiatives, and started reaching out and taking my approach from policing, which was very much a community collaborative approach, to we need to go outside the walls of our organization and we need to engage with the people who are addressing these issues on the front lines and bring them into the organization to help us not only create change, create technology, create programs that addresses the harm that has found its way on our platform, but we have an opportunity to create and to do something that is much bigger than the company. And then before long, that opened the door for me to become the VP head of safety at Match Group, who oversees dating apps like Tinder and Hinge and OkCupid, and also has a lot of the same issues, right? The same elements of harm that are showing up, not just in real life, but online. I used my voice to create safe spaces where I used my voice, but I also inspired others within both of those organizations that wanted to step up and do something as well. And what I called is building community. Once you start leveraging your own personal power, once you start leveraging your voice, once you start creating change where you're at, other superheroes are going to rise up. And that's exactly what happened at Uber and Match Group, is people were like, I want to be a part of this. I care about this issue. I want to do this. And before long, we had an entire organization. We had champions across organizations that wanted to address that specific issue and make a difference where they could make a difference doing what they were doing. They might be working in marketing. They might be working in operations. They might be working in product and technology. But how can I use what I know and what I do really well, because this breaks my heart too, how can I use my skills to also make a difference? And before long, we had a movement within those organizations, a movement to create change. And so I use all of that. I use my lived experience of the journey I've taken in being a part of one of those marginalized communities and what it looks like, how I rose to the top, but also how I created change in these organizations.